The time is 19:53 on the 12th of March 2022 and we're at interview room 1 at Mission Road Police Station. I am Police Inspector 1484 Avion Solo of the Los Santos Police Service, currently attached to the Recruitment Development Department. Today we're going to be interviewing... You state your name, please?
Felix Lamb.
For the offences of dangerous driving, assaulting an emergency worker, assault, battery, driving whilst disqualified, and attempted theft of a vehicle. Before I can discuss this with you, I do have to caution you. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention, when questioned, something that you later on in court. Anything you do say may be given evidence. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay, so in this interview, you are entitled to have a solicitor present, and you have opted to exercise your rights, and your solicitor date is?
Sir, DJ Joe Kendall. I said it wrong. DJ Kendall Jr.
Okay. Mr. Lamb, are you happy for DJ Kendall Jr. to be your solicitor?
Yes.
Okay. And are you satisfied you've had time to discuss with your solicitor before this interview?
Yeah.
Okay. If at any point throughout the interview you wish to have another consultation, please let me know. I will pause the recording and I will step out of the room to give you that time to chat, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So, start from the beginning. Tell me what was happening earlier today.
Not much really. I was just in the car with John out for a drive.
Okay, what car were you in?
A black Cavalcade.
A black Cavalcade. And whereabouts was this?
Outside of Tried Stuff.
Okay, roughly what time do you remember?
I've been in custody for about 2 hours 15 minutes, so however long it's been since then.
Okay. So, talk to me about what happened when you're outside Tried Stuff.
Yeah, so I saw a friend's car parked that I had previously been allowed to drive, and I got in the car.
Okay. Which car did you get in?
A grey Fusillade.
Okay. And what's this friend's name?
Mark.
Mark, do you have a surname?
Not that I know of.
Okay, how do you usually talk to Mark?
On the phone. Sometimes I go around his for Wednesday afternoon tea.
Okay. Do you have Mark's number?
I don't know it, no.
Do you have it in your phone?
Unfortunately, his phone was confiscated off him, so he wouldn't be able to provide that number.
Okay, that's something we will have to look at after the interview. But is the phone in your number for the record?
It should be, yeah.
Okay. And how do you know Mark?
It's just a friend I've known for years.
Okay. How did you know it was his vehicle?
I recognised it. He's only got the one.
Okay. Could you tell me the registration of the vehicle?
I cannot know.
Okay, well, how could you recognise it as being his vehicle? Sure, there are many like that.
I'm sure there are many like that, but I just knew that was his. I can't tell you the plate, but I can recognise the plate when I see it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you couldn't tell the plate, but you'd recognise it if you saw it?
Yeah.
Is that the only way you'd recognise it as being his vehicle?
No, I'd recognise the car. I'd recognise the make. I'd recognise the unique scratches on it, the little dent.
Okay, whereabouts would these scratches and dent be located?
Well, it's quite an old car, but there was a dent on the left of the rear bumper near the light.
Okay. So you've just shown up. You've seen this car. Talk to me. What happens then?
So I got in the car because it was just parked there, left abandoned. So I thought, I need to put this in a better spot, otherwise someone's going to crash into it.
Okay. So what happened then?
Then 2 police officers came and boxed the car in, one out the back and one out the front.
Alrighty. Then what happened?
They told me over the course of what felt like 10 minutes, repeatedly to get out of the car. I repeatedly said to them, I'm not going to get out of the car. I don't need to. I'm allowed to drive. They kept asking me to prove it was my car. I said to them on multiple occasions, it's not my car. And then they were asking me to lock the car, etc., which I couldn't do. It's not like I carry Mark's spare keys around with me all the time. Yeah.
Okay, so why did you refuse to get out of the vehicle?
I didn't need to.
And why did you feel you didn't need to?
Well, it's not their car, it's Mark's car. I don't need to, I am going to do what the police say all the time.
I mean, that vehicle was marked for impound, which means technically it was in the care and control of the Los Santos police at that time, which means it was
The vehicle
actually.
was not marked for impound.
Well, either.
Sorry, just quickly, Felix. At any time was you informed that it was marked an impound?
I can't remember.
Okay.
Okay. Where was it? Okay, so you refused to get out of the vehicle, then what happens?
So this went on for about 8 minutes, going back and forth, get out of the vehicle. No, I don't want to. Why don't you want to? Can you prove you own it, etc. And in the end, one of the officers stood on the bonnet of a car, pointed a taser through the broken door, and said, "If you don't get out, I'm going to tase you." And so he pointed a taser at me. He fired, missed. I drove forward. Obviously, I didn't want to be tased. That was incredibly excessive. The two officers in front of me had decided to position themselves directly in front of the car, standing in the middle of the road. So as I drove forward, they were obviously then immediately hit. Everybody recognised what was going to happen, and they, for some reason, stood there. So I either have had a choice of literally being tased or driving forward. I knew that I wasn't going to massively injure because I wasn't driving at any high speed, and at the end of the day, them standing in front of a car, they're putting themselves in that risk. When I drove forward, I drove to the side. I immediately drove back to come back to them because I recognised what I would do would be seen as a dangerous, and I didn't want to be fed into stop. So I returned to the scene. When I returned, immediately, an officer got in a police car, smashed me off the road into a bike stand and a tree, tased me immediately out of the car through the door that was broken, and then ran up to me and cuffed me.
So your options were stay in the vehicle, get tased, get out of the vehicle, or drive forwards. And why did you not just get out of the vehicle?
Well, why did I need to get out of the vehicle?
Well, I believe my officer was trying to arrest you.
Nope, that was never said to me. If he was trying to arrest me, then it would have been a different matter.
Well, I believe he was trying to arrest you, which is why I was ordering you out of the vehicle at taser point. But
it doesn't really matter what you believe. He'd never said that.
To be fair, based off what Felix has just said, no point was he actually told that he was being placed under arrest. He was asked to exit the vehicle, being held at taser point, asking to exit the vehicle. At no point did they tell him he was being detained or under arrest.
Yeah, but he still could proceed to drive forward. He has admitted that he did know the guys were in front of him when he rammed them.
Absolutely. A police officer randomly pointing a taser at me for no reason, threatening to tase me. People who have put themselves in that harm's way, or get myself tased for no reason.
Okay. I put to you the following. My officers have located this vehicle, marked it for impound, thus put it in the care and control of Los Santos police, make it effectively their property to control for the time being. You run over and got into it, and multiple attempts were made to ask you nicely to get out of the vehicle without force being used. Now, officer, not believing you had the legal right to be in the vehicle, has ordered you out of it, with the view to arresting you on suspicion of attempting to take the vehicle without the owner's consent or steal the vehicle. You continue to refuse to get out, and thus he's aimed a taser at you, and means you are in a potentially deadly weapon red dotted you that taser, at which point you trim forward, resisting an officer's attempts to arrest you, and assaulted further off officer by ramming into him with a vehicle, constituting dangerous driving, assault, and battery, as other officers felt that they were going to be injured by your driving. You've conducted this whilst being disqualified from driving at the time. Do you have anything to say in regards to that?
Yep, as I've said previously, the officers made no attempt to try and arrest me. An officer trying to tase me out of a vehicle without using any other options, such as pulling me out of a vehicle, is incredibly excessive in my mind. And no, I'm not going to sit there and let myself be tased for no reason.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I disagree. I do believe the officer did try to arrest you, which is why I was ordering
Well,
you
I'm
out.
sure you've got the evidence for that then, don't you, officer?
I believe I've got substantial evidence. Okie dokie. So the time by my watch now...
Sorry, what was that? Sorry, what was that last comment you just made?
I'm sure I've got enough to proceed with the charging stage, so...
Fantastic. Officer, what's your numbers?
Let me finish.
Felix, it's fine. We'll get all that.
The time by my watch is 1:17 on the 12th of March 2022, and I'm going to be charging you today with the following offences: assault by assaulting an emergency worker in the execution of their duties, assault, battery, dangerous driving, attempting to steal. I'm sorry.
Just stacking charges there. It's all right. Keep
Attempted vehicle theft. And driving whilst disqualified. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention now something that you later on in court. Anything you do say may be in evidence. Do you have anything further to say in your defence?
I'd like to say something in his defence, please. So obviously, you.
With respect, solicitor, you're not allowed to testify in an interview. It's down to him to testify. You can only offer advice, unless he was to provide you with a pre-written statement. If you wish to,
well, I'm just going off what he said in the interview. So, I mean, he's mentioned it to you. It's on tape. So, what does it matter?
Yeah, well, if he's that's fine, but you're not allowed to testify in his defence as a solicitor.
Okay, that's fine. We'll take it up after the interview then.
No worries. Mr. Lamb?
No, you've heard everything. You've chosen to ignore it.
No worries.
That's your bet to bear.
I've not chosen to ignore it. I believe you've given your account. I'm satisfied you've had an opportunity to give your account, and I'm satisfied with making a charging decision based on that. As I said, I'm now concluding this interview.